everyone, we meet again. Welcome to Writer's Corner. My name is Rudrani, and once again, I'd like to share another one of my short stories with you all. This story is called A Guilty Secret, which I wrote about 2 years ago in 2018. It was one of the weekly topics for my writers group, and I hope you'll like it. So, here we go. A Guilty Secret. It was a cold Friday in mid-autumn. The clock struck 11. Esther sat wearily in front of the warm blazing fire, devouring her hot coffee. The house cleaning had drained all her energy. It had been the usual start to her day. Her teenage daughters had rushed off to catch their school coach, and her husband was away on work. This had become a regular occurrence, more so over the past 5 years. His work would take him anywhere across the globe, from a conference to lectures to working for a charity in a remote village somewhere. She worked 3 days a week for the council. Tuesdays were dedicated to her writers group, leaving Fridays and weekends for housework, friends, and family. Esther stared melancholily into the fire. She and Isaac had been married for 16 years. Isaac was a man of few words, but he was a kind man who provided well and was a doting father. She finished her drink and placed her cup on the coffee table. As Esther got up and stretched, she caught her reflection in the mirror above the fireplace. Leaning forward, she began to scrutinize herself. Fat, 40, female, almost 41, she thought disparagingly. But Esther was a beautiful woman. Her good genes and healthy lifestyle had knocked 10 years off her age, and regular exercise had helped her to retain her hourglass figure. But where had all the years gone? The clock now struck 12. The cuckoo interrupted her thoughts. She walked towards the window. It was a dull but dry day, with grey clouds scattered across the sky. The naked trees began to dance in the cool, gentle breeze, and golden, red, brown leaves carpeted the ground. She looked out onto the street. It was a large yet quiet estate, with spacious stone-built houses. Esther and her family moved into their home 5 years ago. It was a safe neighborhood watch area, and her neighbors were warm, friendly people who looked out for one another. She stood admiring the well-kept lawns of the other houses. A middle-aged lady passed her house walking her butch Labrador. A large delivery van pulled over into her right-side neighbor's driveway. They were having a new sofa set delivered, probably to go into the new extension that they recently had at the back. Just then, the black Maserati drove past. Esther's heart raced. The car pulled over onto the long driveway of a large house on the opposite side of the street, 2 houses up from hers. Why is he home at this hour? She thought. Her eyes transfixed. She watched him intently as he stepped out of his car and walked into his house. He had moved into the estate 6 months ago and had been her muse ever since. From her tight observation, he seemed to live on his own. However, he did have several visitors on a regular basis. She deduced that some of them were relatives, in particular a couple who appeared to be in their 60s as his parents. Esther found him very appealing. He was always well dressed and well groomed. Standing at 6 feet tall, he had lightly tanned skin, brown eyes and black hair. He looked around mid-30s, younger than her. Everyone seemed to be younger than her these days. She recalled her first acquaintance with him. It was back in early summer that year when he had just moved in. It was a Sunday evening and Esther was walking back home after visiting her friend a few streets away. Just past his driveway, she suddenly tripped and fell. On his way out, he rushed out of his car and came to her aid. "Are you okay?" he asked in a deep, husky voice. Embarrassed with herself, she muttered, "Yes, yes, thank you." As she tried to hurry to her feet, he quickly reached down, held her arm, and helped her up. Esther felt his strong arms against hers. He smelt divine. She recognized the fragrance, Sauvage by Dior. She had bought the same one for her husband, but it never had the desired effect when he wore it. Swooned by his charm, Esther felt like a giddy teenager. Are you hurt? He asked. No, no, I'm fine, thank you, she blushed. Are you okay to go home? Shall I give you a lift? Oh, no, I live right there, number 15, she pointed clearly. Ours are the only two houses with a balcony. You can see everything from up there, she blurted. Right, okay, I'll bear that in mind, he said, smiling mischievously. Oh no, why did I say that? She chided herself. Well, thank you, bye. Bye now. See you around, take care, he replied. Since then, she regularly saw him at the local sports centre, working his sculptured frame. He would always smile and greet her politely. On Sundays, their paths crossed again. She would be on her brisk morning walk, and he would be running. On a few occasions, they caught each other's eye from their balconies. Despite the many encounters, he remained a nameless enigma. He now returned to his car and drove off. The clock ticked away the time. Another hour had passed. The girls would be home at 4. With 3 hours to kill, she pottered around the house. Esther felt too tired and lazy to do any more chores. She thought about writing something and sat down with her pen, paper, and laptop. Writer's block had seized her brain, and she desperately pondered for some ideas. Meanwhile, her mobile bleeped, interrupting her trail of thought. It was a text message. She had to check it. Her mobile had become an addiction. The long message read, Hi Esther, Judy here. Hope all's well at your end. I've just spoken to Brenda. Some good news. A lady from Bluebird Limited, a publishing house, came to our reading show last week. Don't know if you saw her. Her name's Emily Clark. She really liked our anthology. She bought 2 copies. She showed them to her boss. It's his company. Lucas Bellucci, I think. They want to use some of our work with our photos. Gosh, I look terrible in mine. They're both coming to our meeting on Tuesday to talk about it. Brenda said she'll email everyone today. But I just had to tell you. I'm so excited. Have a fab weekend. See you Tuesday, Judy. It sounded too good to be true, but it was true. Judy never lied. Esther was thrilled. Things were starting to look up. A loud knock on the front door caught her attention. Who could that be? She wondered. Outside, a delivery man stood with a huge bouquet of red roses. He carefully handed them to her, then took a signature on his electronic pod, and before she could say a word, he left. Esther was stunned. 24 red roses? Who would have sent such beautiful roses? It can't be Isaac, she thought. He wouldn't even know where to get flowers. With nervous excitement, she searched the bouquet to find a small, scented gold envelope. Inside, a little card read, Dear Esther, congratulations on your anthology. I'm a great admirer of your work. See you on Tuesday. Yours truly, Luca. P.S. Don't trip over anything. Still in disbelief, she read the note again and again. She put 2 and 2 together. How could this be? Admiring their beauty, she touched the soft petals and smelt their sweet fragrance. Placing the bouquet in her front windowsill, she glanced towards his house. She felt a momentary pang of guilt, but she was also flattered. After a long time, she felt a glow of happiness. Hey, lovely flowers, Mum, said the girls when they came home. Where'd you get them from? Oh, just a friend from my writers' group, she said coolly. The end. Thank you. I hope you liked that. Again, please click like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you again. Bye.